Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island is the newest straight-to-video movie in the series, and is actually the sequel to the 1998 movie Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. And the reason I decided to review this movie is actually because this year is the 50th anniversary of Scooby-Doo airing. Now, I've always been a fan of Scooby-Doo ever since I can remember. I love the original show, I love A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, I love a lot of the series. I really like a lot of the animated movies. I even get a good kick out of the live-action movies from the early 2000s. And I'm actually a big fan of one of the more recent television series, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. I thought that was a very good interpretation of Scooby-Doo, and I still think it's probably the best series overall. People can argue with me on that, but I do enjoy that quite a bit. I even played the old PS2 games, and I had a couple of the toys, of course, and everything. I am a legitimate Scooby-Doo fan. But anyways, this movie sees the gang go on vacation after Shaggy wins a raffle drawing, but everything's not as it seems when they get there. And of course, hijinks ensue. Now, there are some fun callbacks to previous stories throughout the series, and of course the voice acting's solid as it always is. But honestly, those are really the only good things I have to say about this movie. Now, while the original with Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island did come out over 20 years ago, and people can argue that it's nostalgia and everything taking over when it comes to your opinions on some stuff, I do legitimately think that that movie and a lot of the other iterations of the series has something that this movie absolutely does not. And that is any hint of actually being kind of scary or creepy, or at the very least, mysterious. This movie has a twist halfway through it that takes away any tension or mystery that was in the movie for the rest of the film. So it's just gone for the rest of the film. And while, of course, the intended target audience for these movies are kids, I do think that with this specific one, they will probably be bored. Warner Brothers has been making several of these straight-to-DVD, VOD Scooby-Doo movies for the last couple of years, and for the most part, most of them are fairly enjoyable. There's nothing significant that I've seen so far where I'm like, oh, that's the best one out of all of them or something, but they're enjoyable. I do unfortunately think that this is one of the worst outings for Scooby-Doo. I went into this movie having no expectations. I mean, it's whatever many movies in the Scooby-Doo series, and it's straight to DVD. Didn't have any expectations, but I wanted to do it because it's the 50th anniversary of Scooby-Doo. And even without those expectations, I was still pretty disappointed with this movie. Now, I might be being a little harsh on it, but this is honestly how I feel about it and everything. I do think that kids probably aren't gonna get too into it, at least in comparison to a lot of the other Scooby-Doo properties and movies and everything. So I'd recommend almost any of those over this movie. But overall, like I said, it was pretty much a disappointment. So I'm going to be rating Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island a 5.5 out of 10. Now, what did you guys think about it? Did you actually enjoy this outing, or were you like me and you were pretty disappointed with it? Let me know, and I'll be back with another video.